Went and got a haircut. Check that out. Bam! So got the homemade beans going on. So we're gonna have a pretty good dinner tonight. Pretty good dinner. Give this thing a turn. I think it's time to flip this rig. Oh yeah. What's up, kiddos? Well, it's story time, but let me show you what I'm working with first. This is my first attempt ever at making green chili. So this is green chili with pork meat. Got a pork shoulder. Got all the fixes. My first attempt ever at making green chili, and I'm making it from scratch. And I do mean scratch. So check this out. This is what I started with. Started with these green chilies, roasted them up on a hot plate. That one right there. Roasted these on a hot plate. Put them in a bag to sweat. Let them cool down. Then you saw me dice them up and all that. And my first attempt. We'll see how it goes. Good old sweet Kool-Aid. Anyways, went and got a haircut. Check that out. Bam! Nana's gonna be happy. She's always happy when I get a haircut. She asked me, "You get all handsome?" Yep. Anyways, so I put the meat in the roaster before I went to get a haircut, and I seasoned it all up and everything. And then when I came home, man, it smelled good already, and I hadn't even put the chili or nothing. So now that I put the chili, onions, tomatoes, it smells amazing, along with the beans too. The beans smell good, so this whole house is smelling delicious. So reminded me, I was trying to get ahead of my book, and I was writing in my book, and one of the next questions is using all five senses. Tell me what you remember about your childhood home. So smelling all this reminded me of that, reminded me of my childhood home and everything. So this has still got a few minutes to simmer and cook. So I'm gonna shoot up to the studio so we can get to this story, because I want to relax for a little bit. I've been on the go since this morning, so let's go. Wow, it smells even better up here. You can smell it all the way up here. It smells real good. So it reminded me of, just smelling all that cooking reminded me of home, you know, growing up, all the smells I used to smell. And that was one thing about my house, is the question was, you know, what my house smelled like, what I remember. And there wasn't one distinct smell. There never was. It was my house. The smell changed with the seasons. It, you know, summertime, my mom cooked a lot. You can smell the fresh cut grass. We had a grapefruit tree, so you can smell the flowers from the grapefruit tree. The orange trees, we had orange trees, peach trees. We had lemon trees, so when they were flowering, we can smell all that. It smelled real good. And but the cooking, my mom was always cooking something, like I said, so it always smelled like chili or onions or beans or what have you. And was always a good smell in the house. You know, like I said, it changed with the seasons. Christmas, it smelled like cinnamon, of course, like the cinnamon pine, whatever. And then if we got a Christmas tree, well, we always did. We got a Christmas tree, so our house would smell like a Christmas tree and cinnamon. And then my mom would bake cakes. You know, she'd always, during the Thanksgiving, Christmas time, she's always baking cakes too. So it just, I know it changed. It changed with the seasons. And then, you know, I remember the front yard, we had the grass, and not to brag, but we actually had the best looking grass in the neighborhood, because, or on the block, because we had the grass we had was St. Augustine. So it was real thick, the thick bladed grass, and it was real plush, like carpet. And my stepdad used to like to let it grow long, or medium to long, so it looked really nice, and it held up real nice. And we used to play football on that, man. You can land on it, and it was just like on plush carpet. It was real. It was, I mean, it was thick blades, so it was nice. If you know what Bermuda grass is, you know. Other than that, we had two mulberry trees in the front yard, which were pretty big. I grew up. I think my grandfather planted those, so Tata Gilbert planted those, and they grew with the house. And I'm actually doing the same thing here. With I have two trees in the back, so I'll tell you the story about that later. So in the fall, of course, the leaves would all fall this mulberry tree, and I'd have to rake it up, and we'd rake it up into piles. And then my friends would come over, and we'd just jump on the pile, and I mean, you could hear the leaves crunching. You know, we'd throw a big pile in the middle of the yard and just crunch it down and crunch it down, crunch it down, and then rake it up and throw it in the trash. And those were fun times. And then you could hear the ice cream truck from all across the neighborhood. That was another nice sound. It was an ice cream truck. One thing my mom says she misses, and I mean, she always says this, and actually now that I'm older, I miss it too. But one sound that I love to hear in the neighborhood is kids playing. I love to hear the kids playing outside, and that was us. We were making all the noise outside, playing with whatever we were doing, you know, riding bikes or whatever. But we were always playing outside, so the neighborhood was full of kids. And now that I think about it, I do miss that sound, the sound of kids playing. Um, Other than that, another thing I remember watching, or I used to like to see and hear and smell, whatever, is on the weekends, on Saturdays, everybody would wake up in the mornings and go outside and mow their lawns, wash their cars, um, work on the yard. Everyone was working on their cars, mechanically washing it, whatever. So when you would wet the asphalt, you know, in the hot day, you could smell it, and it was a distinct smell, and I like that smell. Even now, when you smell it, like, ooh, I like that. Or when you wet it, when I wet the asphalt, like, ooh, I like that smell. But I had so many memories of smells. I can't sit here and describe every single one of them. It would take days. I wrote a little bit in the book, and let's see. Oh yeah. So another thing was, my house changed during the seasons. Is my mom would decorate for a little bit for Halloween, not too much, because my grandfather didn't care for it, and you know, he was Catholic, so he didn't, he just didn't like my mom to decorate for Halloween. But she would a little bit, like if it was cute, you know, like teddy bear stuff, Winnie the Pooh, whatever. She would decorate for Christmas. So the lights, I remember, you know, my stepdad would decorate for Christmas, so I had all the lights, the tree inside and out, and she would, you know, put red plates out, and it was nice. It was nice. She'd always decorate for the holidays, and no matter what holiday it was, she kind of put something up. And that's how your Nana is now. You know, Nana Michelle. She likes to decorate just a little bit to keep the kids happy, and I love it too. I love it. And this year we're actually switching. So I usually do Christmas and somewhat Halloween, and she helps me. She helps me with both. But this year we're switching, so she's gonna do Christmas decorating, and I'm doing Halloween. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make a video on that so you guys can see how Nana does and how I do. So Halloween's first, so it'll be my video first, and then Nana's video to see how she decorates. But other than that, all the decorating, the cooking, the neighborhood kids making noise in the neighborhood, the ice cream man rolling around, uh, that's about it. that's about it. Using all my five senses, touching. I mean, the leaves, the grass, climbing the tree. It was all fun, picking the lemons from the tree, the grapefruits, the oranges, all the fruit trees we had. It was fun picking all those. So, and the smell of all the flowers when they were blooming. But that's pretty much it. I mean, not to sound mean, but not that that's it, but not much more except for the cooking. Like I'm not going to repeat myself, but I got a lot more to go on this book. So I'm going to try to keep them short and sweet. Not too detailed, but enough so you'll get to know me. So you'll get to know Tata, because some of these questions aren't really that important. We're going to get to the important stuff later. So take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, gotta go.